Hello and welcome to SudoKanard. We're here to solve this greater of Sum Sudoku by Serbian author Čedomir Milanović from the latest Sudoku Grand Prix. It was the final puzzle and it was the highest pointer. In my opinion, it was not the most difficult. I would say the most difficult was somewhere between, probably Rossini, but the Antinite was close. And I think my practice puzzle was actually harder than this one, but perhaps they were just a similar difficulty. But actually, I did spend a lot of work, a lot of time on this puzzle because the end was a little on the tricky side, and I ended up bifurcating, which is not a good sensation. So the special rule here is that whenever you have a number in such a domino, then the number is either the bigger of the two digits or the sum of those two. And something you may remember from my practice puzzle is that whenever you have two similar clues in such a pattern, it could be such a pattern, which means they share a cell and they are in the same region. Considering they need to have three different digits, they can't be both sums. If I try to have a sum here, let's say 2 plus 6, and this can't be a sum anymore. So what this means is that with such a triplet of cells, you need to have one of the digits being the greater, meaning that 8 must appear somewhere in here. And the same is true for this, so 8 has to be here. And the same is happening here. 9 must be somewhere here, must be somewhere here. So this is a 9. And the same must be true here. Sorry about that. So there must be a 7 in here. But 7 can't appear in a domino with a 2 in the middle. So 7 is in one of those two places. And I think that this kind of logic is of no use anywhere else. So you might think, oh, the same is happening here, but it's not true. This time you can have something like this, 2 and 6 here and 2 and 6 here. It just means that this digit is the same as this one. So this is a sum, and this could still be a sum as well. So this is a sum, this is a sum, this is a sum, this is a sum. And 14 is obviously a sum. It can't be the bigger digit. And because there's a 9 here, that has to be 6 plus 8. 8 doesn't work on a 6 domino, so that's the 6, that's the 8. This can either be a 1 to complete the sum or the 9 as the bigger digit, and this could be any digit between 1 and 5. There's a 7 here, so the sum 15 here can only be 6 plus 9. 9 doesn't work here, so that's a 6. And now 7 doesn't work here. Actually, because of this 8, that has to be a sum. So this is 6 plus 2, and that's a 7. And this could be, well, actually, because of this 2, that has to be a 1-2 pair. And because of this 2, that's the 1, that's the 2. And this can be either 4 for the sum or 6 for the bigger digit. 10 can only be a sum, so this is 4 or 6. This now can't be a 9 because of the 5 here, so this has to be a sum, 4 plus 5 or 6 plus 3, and both of them are compatible with this 5 clue. Now, this can still be a 5 with the 3, or it could actually be any digit smaller, which means 1, 2, 3, so that's not very interesting. Oh, what is interesting, on the other hand, is that 6 here has to be a sum. Sorry about that, because there's a 6 in there, and there's a 4, so the sum must be 1 plus 5, so that this is finally a 3, and 1 here doesn't work, so that has to be the 5, and that's a 1. Now, let's move on to here. This 12 must be a sum, and it's not 8 plus 4. And this digit must be 6 at most, so It can't be 4, it can't be 3, so it has to be 5. And this is 7. This is now 1 or 6, 1 for the sum, 6 for the bigger digits. And this can be a 3 or 8 for the sum, or 9 for the bigger digit. And this 7 here, it can't be 1 plus 6, it can't be 2 plus 5, it can't be 3 plus 4, so it has to contain a 7, and because of this 7, the 7 is here. And this is not 2, 3, or 5, so it has to be from 1, 4, 6, which makes a 1, 4, 6 triple here. This is a very well constructed. You can see the clues just flowing into the next. So here we're left with a 2, 8, 9 triple on this row. That's not a 2. Let's have a look at this. Or this, yes. This is a sum. It's not 2 plus 6, it's not 1 plus 7. So it has to be 3 plus 5. This is also a sum because of this 8. It's not 6 plus 2, it's not 3 plus 5, so it has to be 7 plus 1. And considering this 7, that's the order. Now, this is also a sum. It can't be 3 plus 5. It can't be 1 plus 7, so it has to be 2 plus 6. This now could still be 2 plus 6, but this could also be an 8. Except that 8 would place a 1 here, it can't be a 7, and 1 is not available, so that's not 8. This is 3 or 7. This is a sum, but 3 would place a 6 here, which would clash, so that's actually 7 plus 2, and 2, 6, and 2, and this 6 here puts an 8 into this cell. This is not 8, 1. And this is not 3, 8 and 9 are both still possible. Those ones here place a 1 there. 7 here goes there. That's a 4, 9 pair. There's still some here. This must be from 3, 4, 5. This sum is not 2 plus 7, but all the other options, 1 plus 8, 3 plus 6, and 4 plus 5 are still possible, so I'm not pencil marking all of that. But I'm noticing here we have a 3, 4, 5 triple, and that's not 4. So we will have to do some Sudoku first, which is what we are here for anyway. This 2 is not here, so that's a 2. 2 here goes there. 7 here goes there, I think, yes. So we are left with an 8, 9 pair here and an 8, 9 pair here. Oh, this 7 goes there, and we're left with a 7 in this position. 3, 4, 5, 8 in this, so this is from 3, 4, 5, 4, 8, 3, 4, 5, there's an 8 here. Two on this row can only be here. 1, 4, 8, 6, so this is from 1, 4. 6 has to be in there. 1, 4, 8, 6. Well, this is consistent with what I mentioned earlier. 1, 4, 8, 6. Yes, none of them seem to be impossible at this point. 3, 4, 5, 8 inside this. So 3, 4, 5 here. We need a 9 on this row. It can only be here. We need a 1. It can only be here, actually. So those are 4, 6, 8. I don't know what I was saying earlier. So that now this sum needs 1, 3, or 5. This is from 3, 4, 5. I'm saying that there is a 6. Actually, 6 on this row is not here, so it has to be here. 3, 4. This is also from 3, 4, 5. I remember thinking at this point that it was quite unlikely that this could solve uniquely at this point. But it so happens that it solves uniquely in the end. 4, 9, so those three cells are 3, 5, and 8. There's a 2 here. Oh, this I've been missing. This 3 needs the 6, so that's a 4. And that's also a 4. This column needs 4, 6, 8, 9. Here we have 4, 8, 9, so this is a 6. The 6 I was saying. So those must be from 4, 8, 9. Oops. I'm looking for stuff. Here we need 3, 1, 3, and 5. So that's a 3. That's a 1, 5 pair. Here we need 4, 9, and 6. And we can see we have a 4, 6, 8, 9 quadruple, which means that those two cells are 3 and 5. So that this is finally from 4, 8, 9, but we already knew that, I think. Oh, that's a 4. And I think this is the point where I decided to just bifurcate because I thought I was making no more progress. That was really, really annoying. But then what I failed to note is that in this area, 3 and 5 are both in here. So that this can't ever be 3 nor 5. And this is interesting because now this can only be 1 or 8. And considering this, 8 plus 1 is impossible in here. And so when I bifurcated, I just chose a digit in this cell, and it turned out to be the correct digit. So by luck, I could finish this in reasonable time. But let's move on to a logical solve. So this is not 8 plus. This is not 8 plus 1. So now we have a 3, 4 pair, which makes this a 1, an 8. 3, 5 pair, sorry. That's a 1, that's a 4. That is also a 4, that's a 6, and this is finally a 3. And 8 here. And at this point, the puzzle should just be a walk in the park, I hope. Not sure about that. Yes, this 4 makes this a 9. That's an 8. That's a 4. A 9 down there. That's 8. That's 4. That's 9. That's 8. That's 9. This is 1. This is not 5. This is 1. This is 3. The way it all crumbles is really impressive. But there was some work to do in here, which probably justifies the high number of points. This can only be a 9, this is a 3, this is a 5, and finally finally we get the 3, the 6, and the 8, and that's it. So that's really a spectacular puzzle, I think. There was this really tricky Sudoku part at the end. Now, not that impossible. I'm saying this as if this were something incredible. It was just a little hidden, and I didn't spot it during the contest. So any technique at this point was as good as another. Bifurcating was the one for me. But still, that was really a spectacular creation, and I'm glad that this puzzle was on this round. It was a great round, a tough round, I would say, compared to the previous ones, but a great round nonetheless. So this is the end of 2023 Sudoku Grand Prix, and I think I have covered every single puzzle in all rounds. And I'm not sure what's going to happen on the channel till the end of 2023 because, as you have noticed, I tend to post very few puzzles in between rounds, so stay tuned. I may find something to do. Thanks to Puzzle Expo on Logic Masters India, it's likely that I find some material to cover. There's also Dutch material that I have in reserve, or perhaps some of my own puzzles from time to time, or just requests from viewers. Thanks for watching all of these videos, and see you someday on SudoKanard.